Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas. Today, we're tackling something we all face, dealing with someone else's anger. So let's just jump right in with the question we've all had to deal with, right? What do you do when someone is just aiming all their anger, all that negativity, straight at you? You know that feeling. It can totally hijack your entire day. But what if there's a better way to handle it? I mean, we've all been there. That toxic encounter. Could be a coworker, a family member, even a total stranger. And you're just left standing there thinking, how do I deal with this without getting sucked into their storm? It's a universal challenge, for sure.
All right, to really get into this, let's look at this incredible story from Buddhist teachings. It's basically a masterclass in emotional control, and it is a total game changer.
Okay, so picture this. A guy walks up to the Buddha and just lets loose. I'm talking a full-on verbal assault. Yelling, insults, cursing, just pure, raw anger pointed right at him. Now, what happens next is what makes this story so powerful. Because faced with all that rage, the Buddha does something completely unexpected. He doesn't fight back, he doesn't get defensive, and he definitely doesn't get angry. Instead, he just smiled. That's it. He just sat there with this calm, kind smile on his face, offering zero reaction to all that anger. So eventually, the man just runs out of steam. I mean, he's yelled everything he can possibly yell. And in that quiet moment after the storm, the Buddha calmly breaks the silence, but not with what you'd expect. He asks this question that seems like it came out of left field. It completely changes the energy of the whole situation. He just looks at the man and asks this super simple question about a gift. In the man, he's probably a bit thrown off, right? He just answers with basic logic. He's like, well, if they don't take my gift, it still belongs to me, obviously. And boom, right there. The man's simple, obvious answer. That's the key. That's the whole principle for protecting your own peace of mind.
This is where the Buddha connects the dots. He explained that all that anger, the insults, the negativity, that was a gift the man was trying to give him. But here's the thing, the Buddha was choosing not to accept it. And if a gift isn't accepted, well, it stays with the person who tried to give it away. The anger was still the man's problem to deal with, his burden to carry. And that's the critical takeaway for you and me. In every single one of these encounters, you're faced with a choice. You can take their gift of anger, or you can politely refuse delivery. So let's really look at those two choices. On one hand, you can accept their gift, you get angry, you get hurt, and you basically let them win by dragging you down. You're swallowing the poison they're trying to hand you. Or you can refuse it. And what happens then? Well, the anger stays their problem, not yours. You stand control, you keep your mental strength, and yeah, you get to be the bigger person.
Okay, so this all sounds great in a story, but how do we actually do this? How do we put it into practice? Let's build a little playbook for what to do when you're in the heat of the moment. It's not just a vague idea. We can actually break this down into a clear 4-step process you can follow. Okay, step 1, and this might be the toughest one. Just smile. Put on a calm, positive face. See, that angry person, they're expecting to get a reaction, to hurt you. If you show you're angry or upset, you're just giving them what they want. A smile shows them you're unshakable. Step 2 is to listen to the words, not the emotion. You gotta try to mentally separate the person from the angry delivery. Just for a second, ignore the shouting and the insults, and really listen. Is there any actual substance to what they're saying? Which brings us to step 3. Reflect on the truth. Be honest with yourself. Is there a kernel of truth in their complaint? Did you actually mess up? If the answer is yes, you can just own it and fix it. But you can do it without getting angry yourself. That totally disarms them. And finally, step 4. What if it's all just baseless nonsense? Simple. Be silent. You have to remember, you can't reason with an unreasonable person. Their eyes and ears are closed. Trying to argue is like talking to a brick wall. In that moment, your silence is way more powerful than any words you could say. Now, this whole 4-step thing isn't just a trick for when you're under attack.
It's really part of a much bigger practice, building your own long-term mental resilience so these things don't knock you off balance to begin with.
So, what can you be doing every day? There are really two key practices here to build up that mental armor so you can handle these situations with total grace.
First, practice what's called loving kindness and compassion. Not just for others, but for yourself too. I mean, if you truly care about yourself, why would you let someone else's poison into your mind? And second, visualize your success. Seriously, run through these difficult conversations in your head. Picture yourself staying calm, smiling, listening, and just handling it perfectly. It's like mental practice for the big game.
Because at the end of the day, the most powerful comeback isn't a comeback at all. It's not about arguing. It's about living well. Your success, your own peace of mind, your calm, that proves them wrong more than any angry words ever could. Let your actions do all the talking. So, that leaves us with one final question. A choice, really. Negativity is going to be offered to you. It's like a package left on your doorstep every single day. The power to accept it or to just leave it there for the sender to deal with. Well, that power is entirely yours.